Good afternoon, fans. This is your girl from Mel'S Mat Chat, and this is episode 301 of the podcast. I was trying to do live, it kept kicking me off, so you're going to get a video. And unfortunately, that's the case and everything. You're probably wondering why I'm going live, or not going live, but you're going to see me today. Tomorrow, I am going to go live, or hopefully upload a video for preview and predictions of SummerSlam. So you're going to look out for that. So I can retweet it all day, and then I don't have to think about it because I'm going to go do a couple things Saturday. So let's just get right into this. I did watch the Cody Rhodes documentary. Loved it without a doubt. Loved it. I was thrilled with it. Where I fell in love with him is when he took his jacket off at Hell in a Cell versus Seth Rollins, and he tore his pec. And coincidentally, I can't believe this. It was his right shoulder. I tore my rotator cuff, and I had a torn labrum, the whole nine. I have a bad shoulder. I have the same shoulder as he does. It's hilarious. So I understood, and I felt for him. And then, of course, going on about his daughter and whatnot. Let me tell you something. I was enthralled. And I was just a little, I don't know what was the whole situation with Dustin Rhodes, his brother. I didn't know what was going on. I don't know if they were on terms of possibly allowing him to, be on it. But that was one of the big things that I didn't like about it. Now, for the weird thing is that we saw the Bucks, Kenny Omega, the whole nine and whatnot on this documentary. Hilarious. It was so hilarious that they were, on there. So, anywho, also it was also, there was a big controversy of what Triple H said, that it was a secondary company, which is AEW, which now they cannot put the fucking steak back into the box. It's out there. They acknowledge it. Let's see where it goes. All right. I highly doubt it, but a girl could dream. Okay. So anywho, Triple H said it's a secondary company. Yeah, it's a secondary company. Are they AEW is not as popular as WWE. Everybody knows what WWE is. You can't negate that. And for the people like, oh, that's disrespectful, and they're doing this, they're doing that. Yeah. But WWE did it first. Okay? So I don't know what the hell is the problem here. Stop fucking getting baited. Leave it alone and just fucking enjoy the wrestling. All right? Trust me, I'm pro WWE. But as of late, I've been, what the fuck is this company doing, So enough with this. Second, there's a problem with tribalism in professional wrestling. And those are the people that do not need to be watching professional wrestling. Okay? Because let me tell you something. It's disgusting. All right? When I was a kid, all I wanted was peanut butter sandwiches. Or when I got older, I liked putting on a very, very, very minute amount of jelly. As I got older, it got more like a good ratio, okay? But then I got tired of that. So I found out that there was other butters, other nut butters, other jellies. And it became more of an expansion of my horizons. I now watch New Japan. I watch Ring of Honor. I watch AEW and WWE. I am actually going to give Impact another go. This will be the 5th time I'm giving it a go. I just can't deal with Josh Matthews. Now let's hopefully that Tom Hennigan or Tom Phillips and Aiden English will do my thing. Which I will be going to doing some sort of spaces or some sort of Twitter live, and I'm going to watch it and give you my my reaction. I got it tonight. I'm going to go and I'm going to do my due diligence and find out what's going on and, giving it another go. Okay? So if it happens like that and I'm able to give you the reactions, I may just do that on Thursdays because then I don't have to include it into this, and it's just would be another show that I have to worry about watching. Bad enough, I'm contemplating on bringing NXT back into the fold. If that's the case, I'm going to do 2 podcasts a week, one strictly AEW and one strictly WWE. And I'm sorry, I need to delegate here. But AEW right now is a baby company. It's been around, 3-4 years? WWE has been around for longer than I've been alive, when it was WWF, okay? So how is it that we are calling AEW a promotion and it's not being classified as a secondary promotion? Because of the fact that WWE has been around here longer. You can't negate that. And I'm tired of people, thinking that their way of thinking is wrong. This is facts. All right? Facts. And Tony Khan doesn't help the fucking situation at all. He fucking goddamn took the fucking bait and he fucking fired back. And I'm laughing at Tony Khan at this point. I'm like, you are a fucking moron. Why did you give him your fucking energy? You could have instantaneously said nothing and said, you know what? We are a secondary company. Everybody wants to go to WWE. We offer this. And that should have been it. The way he fucking acted was like, oh, my company's better than your company. He's younger than me. And I don't act like that. I do not act like that at all. My son is 17 years old and he doesn't act like this petty bitch. Jesus Christ. I'm done. I'm done with this petty shit. Everybody stop fucking talking and do your job. Daddy gave you the fucking money to open your own wrestling promotion. Keep focused on that. The less you talk to the press, the better off. Do you see Vince McMahon coming to the doing a press conference or mentioning something? No. Do your job. Do the fucking thing that you wanted to always do, was being an ultimate booker. And then we're good to go. One other thing I wanted to address on this situation, because of basically the inmates are running the asylum in WWE, AEW. Because you're going to keep making the current superstars producers. They're not going to put anybody else other than them first. Look what happened with WCW. Enough of this shit. Enough. All right? They're there. Some of them are younger than me. And then you wonder why we see the same shit every fucking week. The same people. Nobody else is on there. I don't know. I don't know anymore. I don't know. It's to the point that, you're going to keep making regular superstars that are on the roster and they're on TV weekly producers. You keep claiming that you're this and you're that and this, that, and the other thing. It's going to all fucking blow up in your face, and that is that. But nevertheless, everybody is hopefully going to play nice. And hopefully that we're going to have a great all-in, which is the 27th of August, which I will be covering, obviously. I will be going, hopefully live, fingers crossed, tomorrow night, right after SmackDown for preview and predictions. So that means Raw will not be on this. SmackDown won't be on this. Last week's SmackDown will be on this. Rampage will be on this. Dynamite and Collision. I know I did it way out of order, but I was going for it, you know? So this is what's going to happen. You will find this past Monday's Raw on preview and predictions, as well as SmackDown. You will get my picks and everything on there tomorrow after SmackDown. So come and join me. And then I'm going to I've already made this now a rule. If it's past 11 o'clock, I ain't going live until Sunday with my review. So I'm going to bed. I'm going to be exhausted. I'm tired. I'm going to be in my room. Do you honestly think I'm going to get out of my bed to come into my kitchen / office to do a review and then go back into my room? You will be sorely mistaken, Peaches, okay? But I'm going to be trying to live tweet during it, and we'll take the day as it comes. But preview predictions will be tomorrow night. Then then I do the review. Then I will be back here next week at the regular time and day, which is Friday, with episode 302. So let's get this party started. And this episode of Mel's Mat Chat, episode 301, is dedicated to the fine people over at Harry's, harrys.com. Visit their website for all your shaving and toiletry essentials. Also, please go check out my Astro Classics at myastroclassics.com and get all your beard essentials at myastroclassics.com. Please do me a favor, if you are thirsty and you want really good salsa water, unflavored water, whatever the case may be, please do me a favor, and you want to murder your thirst, go check out the people over at Liquid Death at liquiddeath.com. If you want to up your coffee game and you think your coffee is not cutting it in the morning and you want really good coffee, go check out the people over at Death Wish Coffee at deathwishcoffee.com. They just came out with a Nutella-inspired flavor. Go check it out. Could you imagine on your stand you have the gingerbread, the pumpkin spice, a little vanilla, and then you have the Nutella? There's 4 for you, baby. And then you transition to it. You put a little bit of blueberry for Christmas. And then you get some syrups. Accessories, please, they have it out the wazoo. So treat yourself. Get your coffee bar on point with Death Wish Coffee. If you support independent professional wrestling, please go check out HOG Wrestling at hogwrestling.net. It's House of Glory. Their next event is August 18th. And in the main event, we have Matt Cardona is defending his HOG World Heavyweight Championship against Hiroshi Tanahashi, New Japan's legend. So go check them out. If you want to watch the pay-per-view, or if it's going to be on Premier app, it's the Premier app, $9.99 a month. Go check it out in your app store. It's $9.99 a month. Go check it out and everything. If you want to watch it then, go watch it there. But if you can get tickets, and I'm not kidding you, go to hogwrestling.net and get your tickets and get all what's going on High Intensity 10 on August 18th. Now, let's start off with Rampage from last week. And I just had my stand here. Rampage started with a tag team battle royal. Winning team earns AEW World Tag Team title match. We had the competing teams, Angelo Parker and Matt Menard versus Big Bill and the Machine, Brian Cage versus Brother Zay and All Ego, Ethan Page, Christopher Daniels and Matt Seidel, Jay Lethal and Sadamon Singh, Jeff Hardy and Matt Hardy, Luther and Serpentico, The Butcher and The Blade. So we started off with Big Bill was swarmed at the start of the match. Matt Hardy hammered at Big Bill in the corner. Sadamon Singh folded up Matt Seidel like an accordion. Seidel and Brother Zay then teamed to hit a gin and juice on Serpentico. Big Bill tossed Luther over the top rope and eliminated him. Blade blasted Serpentico with a lariat and eliminated him. Brother Zay slingboard right into Sadamon Singh's arms, and Sadamon wasted no time throwing Brother Zay right out of the match. Brian Cage and Big Bill stood over the corner and let other teams do all the work. Smart move, said Tony Schiavone. Matt Menard and Jeff Hardy teamed up to eliminate Angelo Parker. Ethan Page launched into Ace Cutter and stunned Lethal, but Sadamon flipped Page over the top. The Hardys ran Sadamon into Jay Lethal. After Lethal was inadvertently knocked out of the ring and eliminated, he and Ethan Page brawled up the ramp. Big Bill finished off Matt Menard. Daniels was isolated by the Butcher and the Blade, and then they eliminated the Fallen Angel. Sadamon Singh grabbed Matt Hardy and hurled him over the top rope. Jeff Hardy staggered Sadamon. Cage and Big Bill used a double clothesline to eliminate Sadamon Singh. Butcher and the Blade grabbed Jeff Hardy and flung him over the top rope. Butcher and the Blade and Big Bill and Brian Cage were the two final teams. They collided in the center of the ring and traded forearms. Cage was planted high on the back of his neck by the Blade. Butcher and the Blade used Tanamon offense on Big Bill until Brian Cage came to the rescue. Brian Cage nailed Butcher with a flatliner. Big Bill took down Butcher and the Blade and lariats, and Blade eliminated by Cage and Big Bill, giving the 2-1 advantage over the Butcher. Butcher did his best to batter Cage and Big Bill with explosive chops. Butcher walloped Cage with a big backbreaker. Butcher hammered away at Big Bill. Butcher was finally taken down by the assisted clothesline. Brian Cage and Big Bill eliminated Butcher after a double clothesline, winning the match. A dominant performance tonight by Brian Cage and Big Bill, said Excalibur. So they will be taking on FTR for the AEW World Heavyweight Tag Team Champions. Commander versus Kip Sabian. Commander used an arm drag on Sabian. He followed up with a roundhouse kick. Staggered Sabian to the center of the ring. Commander scored with a drop kick. Sabian retreated to the outside of the ring. Commander flew over the top with a tope con hero. Commander kicked with a back heel kick for a near fall on Kip Sabian. Commander locked on a submission and then transitioned to a pin predicament for a 2 count. Commander took flight and blasted Kip with a elbow strike. Commander tried for a shooting star press after a rope walk, but Kip moved and then fired back with a pump kick. Sabian followed up with an Arabian press. Kip crushed Commander with a cannonball in the corner. Kip splashed Commander with a standing shooting star press for a near fall. Kip grabbed the referee to distract him so Penelope Ford could jump on the apron and gouge Commander's eyes. Sabian drilled Commander with a slingshot suplex for a near fall. Kip climbed to the top turnbuckle and tried to pull Commander up. Commander countered with a vicious slingboard destroyer on Sabian. Commander walked the top rope and then crushed Kip with a shooting star press for a 3 count. Holy smokes, what did we just see? Asked Tony Schiavone. Kip Sabian and Penelope Ford have re-signed with AEW, so they're locked in. The Kingdom, Matt Taven and Mike Bennett versus Mung Mung Ja Lee and Hayden Backlund. I don't even know if that's anything got to do with Bob Backlund. Son, I don't know. Taven smoked Backlund with a stiff kick. Bennett tagged in and Backlund with a Death Valley driver. The Kingdom finished off Backlund with a proton pack, with Mike Bennett grabbing the pin. The Kingdom looked sharp here tonight. Tag teams here in AEW will be watching their backs, said Excalibur. The main event: Hikaru Shida versus the Native Beast, Nyla Rose, with Marina Shafir. Nyla rushed Shida as Shida was making her entrance to the ring. Shida booted Nyla in the jaw, followed up with a drop kick. Shida nailed Nyla with a running knee in the corner. Nyla avoided a missile drop kick from Shida. Nyla dumped Shida to the outside. Nyla swung Shida into the steel barricade. Shida rocked Nyla with a question mark kick and then an axe kick. Shida suplexed Nyla for a near fall. The Outcasts, AEW Women's Champion Toni Storm, Saraya, and Ruby Soho were watching the match on a monitor backstage. Shida hit Nyla with a running missile dropkick off the apron. Nyla chokeslammed Shida off the ropes. Nyla hoisted Shida for a beast bomb, but Shida had it scouted and escaped with a Hurricane Rana. Shida planted Nyla with a Falcon Arrow for a near fall. Nyla decked Shida with a lariat. Nyla splashed Shida with a senton. Shida ran up the turnbuckle and decimated Nyla with a avalanche Falcon Arrow. Shida went for the pin attempt, but Marina grabbed Nyla's boot and placed it on the bottom rope to stop the ref's count. With the ref checking on Nyla, Marina jumped on the apron and with a kendo stick, Shida yanked out Marina's grasp and cracked Marina with a kendo stick. Nyla grabbed Shida as Shida had her back turned. Nyla went to hit the beast bomb on Shida, but Shida escaped and connected with a katana. Shida pinned Nyla. Cheer on that one. That was a heck of a fight, said Tony Schiavone. Shida is the third ever AEW Women's World Champion. She could be the next AEW Women's World Champion, asked Excalibur. The Outcasts walked onto the ramp. AEW Women's World Champion Toni Storm glared at Shida. Excalibur informed viewers Tony Khan has just made it official. This Wednesday on Dynamite 200, it will be Toni Storm defending her AEW Women's Championship against Hikaru Shida. And that is going to be coming from the Ewing Center in Tampa, Florida. I feel like they're kind of following WWE into every venue. That's just me. Go right into Collision, Dynamite, and then SmackDown, and then I can get you out of here. Collision was taped. Ladder match for the Andrade El Idolo mask. Andrade El Idolo versus the House of Black's Buddy Matthews. So it's Charlotte versus Rhea again. Part 62 at this point. Julia Hart tried to distract Andrade from the apron, but wouldn't shift his focus off charging Buddy Matthews. Buddy and Andrade began to exchange lefts and rights. Andrade El Idolo connected with a moonsault off the ladder outside the ring and down onto Buddy Matthews. Andrade set up several ladders in the ring. Buddy rallied back with Andrade with several stiff kicks. Andrade tried for a three amigo suplex, but Buddy blocked the third suplex. Buddy rushed towards Andrade, but Andrade countered by hip-tossing Buddy into the ladder. Malachi Black was salivating watching from whatever dark corner he is in right now, said Nigel McGuinness. Matthew regained momentum, whipping Andrade into the ladders on the arena floor. A ladder was wedged between the ring and the announce table. and Buddy planted Andrade right onto the ladder. Buddy and Andrade brawled on the edge of the ring. Andrade tried to spear Buddy through the ropes, but Matthews caught him with a front face lock and a DDT. DDT'd Andrade onto the wedge of the ladder. Buddy is set up another table in the ring. He drove the skull of Andrade into the table. Matthews began to climb the ladder in the center of the ring. Andrade pulled him down and nailed Matthews with a back elbow. Andrade hit a sunset bomb off the ladder and down onto another ladder. Andrade started to scale the ladder in the middle of the ring. Julia Hart whispered to Buddy outside the ring. Matthews climbed back in the ring and yanked Andrade off the ladder. Buddy drove his knee into Andrade. Julia Hart handcuffed Andrade to the ring post, but Buddy tried to hit Andrade with a steel chair, but Andrade blocked it with a kick. Buddy inadvertently fell towards Julia, and she mistakenly dropped the key to the handcuff. Andrade was able to reach the key and unlock himself. Do yourself a favor, Julia. Take a page out of Mommy's handbook. You take that fucking key and you hurl it. Andrade grabbed Buddy's wrist and handcuffed him to the ring post. Andrade began to climb the ladder. Julia gave a bolt cutters to Buddy. Buddy was trying to break himself free. Julia jumped into the ring to stop Andrade from climbing the ladder. Julia lurched onto Andrade's back, but Andrade kept climbing. Buddy finally broke free, ran into the ring, climbing the other side of the ladder. Andrade knocked Buddy off the ladder. Andrade placed Julia on the other side of the ladder. She slapped Andrade in the face. Andrade shoved Julia off the ladder, and she plunged backwards onto Buddy with momentum, forcing Julia and Buddy through the ladder that was propped against the turnbuckles. Andrade pulled the mask down and won the match. So I guess Charlotte's going to get a good banging, or got a good banging that night. Tony Schiavone was backstage about to interview Miradima Miro. Schiavone said a few weeks ago Miro mentioned a battle was coming soon. Before Miro could respond, he was blindsided by Aaron Solo. Miro fought back and he got the upper hand after cracking Solo with a chair on the back. Darby Allin and Minoru Suzuki. Darby was looking for a fight tonight and Minoru answered the challenge. Darby wasted no time drop-kicking Suzuki as Suzuki was entering the ring. He followed up with a tope suicida. Darby chopped at Suzuki, placed him on a steel chair, and then hit a shotgun dropkick off the apron onto Suzuki. Minoru rocked Darby with a forearm in the center of the ring. Suzuki applied a triangle choke. He followed up with a pump kick to Darby. Suzuki charged at Darby and blasted him in with a boot to the face. Darby chopped Suzuki, and Suzuki laughed it off. Suzuki retaliated with his own chops, which staggered Darby. Darby fired back with a flurry of offense. Darby went for a coffin drop, but as he crashed, landed onto Suzuki. Suzuki covered with a sleeper hold. Darby used his own momentum, scrolling backwards, but holding onto Suzuki and pinning him. Sensational win for Darby Allin, said Ian, and that's Ian Riccaboni. Suzuki had choked, locked in, but wasn't aware he had his shoulders down. A very rare miscalculation, replied Nigel. TNT champion Luchasaurus and Christian Cage appeared on a giant screen. Christian Cage, congratulations, Darby. That was a hell of a win. It seems like you're finally ready for your shot at the TNT championship. On the surface, it would seem that way, but it seems that you have some other stuff going on. Darby, namely Swerve Strickland, namely your former friend A.R. Fox. You've got a little bit of distraction going on. Darby and you can't be distracted when you're vying for our TNT championship, Darby. Some things have changed since you last held this championship. Namely, this championship is now more prestigious than it has ever been its entire existence. This title has never meant as much as it does right now, draped over my shoulder. You are no longer qualified to be the TNT champion. I will send you back to the mall or Hot Topic or wherever the hell you came from. You will never touch this championship again, not as long as it's in my possession. Do you understand me? Ring of Honor World Television Championship. Samoa Joe versus Gravity. Literally, this was a waste of Samoa Joe's time. Alright? Samoa Joe needs to be on fucking Dynamite or Collision. He needs to get rid of that fucking title. He needs to be starting to go right after MJF. Or fucking Orange Cassidy, for the love of God. Gravity hit Samoa Joe with forearms to the back. Gravity taunted Samoa Joe until Joe kicked him in the midsection. Gravity took down Joe with a Hurricane Rana. Samoa Joe charged at Gravity with a forearm in the corner. Gravity jumped off the top turnbuckle, but Joe dodged him and then taunted him. Samoa Joe followed up with a senton to Gravity. Samoa Joe jabbed at Gravity. Samoa Joe finished Gravity with a muscle buster and pinned him. Samoa Joe is the man Gravity never forgets, said Nigel. Can we stop doing this to Pac, please? It's a bad running joke, okay? And we can all fucking direct it to Vince. Which I will have on my thoughts on his subpoenas and the warrants. Everything will be on the preview and prediction on tomorrow night. Tony Schiavone was in the ring interviewing CM Punk. Punk, there has been a whole hell of a lot of things going on here in AEW, but before I talk about the bag, Hartford, how are we doing tonight? It's been weeks of rotten travel. I just showed up here about 2 hours ago, and I want you to know I never let you down. I always make my towns, and I show up for people in the building. There are a whole lot of things going on here in Collision that no one really wants to meet head on. No one wants to talk about certain things, so I leave it to me to talk about it. And the first thing is I want to talk about Wembley Stadium. Gosh, I'm the first wrestler to mention Wembley Stadium. 80,000 strong. Is CM Punk going to go to merry old England? Is CM Punk wrestling on the Wembley Stadium show? Well, maybe we'll know by the end of the night. That has a lot to do with what's in the bag. Ricky Starks has a lot to do with what's in the bag. He's beat me twice. Once in a singles. Congratulations, Ricky. I'm not mad at you. I'm disappointed. Twice in a tag match. More pissed off for Darby Allin than for myself, because I said last week I could take the L. Can you take the win, knowing that you're just a cheater? As far as the bag goes, not so much that I've been carrying around, but I've been left holding it. And the funny thing is about responsibility, Schiavone. It sucks. A lot of times. Sometimes you got to wake up and do some things you don't want to do. I hear him loud and clear. Because you're a responsible adult in the room. So what's in the bag? I think Ricky Starks is a cheater, and I think I've come back and he's mistaking my kindness for weakness. And when I came back holding the very same red bag, he said I wasn't going to be nice anymore. So ladies and gentlemen, this is me not being nice anymore. CM Punk opened the red bag and reached in it. CM Punk, because the truth doesn't care if you're nice. The truth doesn't care if you're right or wrong. But in this case, I am right, and I am the champion. Punk pulled out the AEW World Heavyweight Championship, the one he has. The one that got stripped. CM Punk, I am the real world's champion. And that night was when Ric Flair was going to start migrating over to the WWF at the time. And Bobby the Brain Heenan brought the big gold belt and said, this is the belt of the real world's champion. Very good ode to that. This title has my name on it. Not because I deserve it, but because I earned it. Nobody has pinned me or submit me for it. This title is still covered in my blood from last September when I beat Jon Moxley for it. And since then, nobody beaten me for it. It's got my name on it. It's got my blood on it. And now it's got my symbol. CM Punk pulled a can of spray paint out, did an NWO, but he put an X on it. This X represents CM Punk since 1997. This X is the foundation I have built my professional wrestling career on. This means I'm straight edge, and straight edge means I'm better than you. This title is mine. It belongs on Collision, and this title is not stolen, unlike my catchphrase. I'm the real world's champion. Oh, okay. I just wanted to make sure of that because I was about to say somebody else came with that moniker. Absolute Ricky Starks ends up going out to the ring. Starks says, "Well, before I go any further, we're going to do a real entrance, all right?" Starks' music played. Starks comes down to the ring. Starks says, "You know, that's a great old story you told here. To be honest with you, Ricky, kind of a solid on gold right now. And the way I see it, it's regardless on how I went about things. You know, I have done the exact same thing, so I bit you before I could ever bite me, pal. What you have on your shoulder right now belongs to me. I feel like I own that. Whatever you have is mine. I've beaten you not once, but I've beaten you twice. And now more than anybody else, I could say, honestly, not only am I the real world's champion, but I'm also the face of Collision." Punk said, "Are you the face of Collision, Ricky? Are you the face of cheating? Did you really beat me twice, or did the referees beat me twice?" Starks, "Brother, I could have Stevie Wonder as my ref, and I could still be able to beat you. The way I see it, a win is a win, and the title belongs to me." CM Punk, "Sounds like Ricky wants a little title shot." Ricky says, "No, it's not Ricky wants. It sounds like Ricky wants a title shot." Stark says, "I deserve a title shot." Punk, "I think you owe a big assist to two referees. I am going to wrestle you again. If you want a title shot, I'm going to need extra eyeballs out there. I'm going to need a special guest referee." Stark says, "Perfect. I would love that. I have no problem with that because it's no secret you have any friends of yours. You got to dig your past. It's whoever it is. I don't care if I did it once, I could do it twice because absolute Ricky Starks is so damn nice." Now he's like, if you got to dig up your past, or if you have to go up to Stanford, which I was laughing about. Why? I don't understand why what the fuck is WWE in every one of those guys' brains? Does it have to be every single time? Do we have to keep mentioning it? I mean, that's another thing that I could go on for days about. CM Punk, "Well, I anticipated this a bit, and I did make some phone calls. You're right. If we have a match, we're going to need a special guest referee, and it's somebody from my past. You really want a shot at the champ?" Stark said, "Absolutely I absolutely deserve a title shot at the champ." CM Punk, "You got it." CM Punk shook hands with Ricky Starks. Tony Schiavone, "Looks like we have a match next week on Collision." CM Punk, "Hang on, Ricky. Tony, I think you should do the honors. You want to tell him who's the special guest referee is going to be?" Tony Schiavone says, "I'd be honored to. Next week in Greenville, South Carolina, Collision live on TNT. The special guest referee is Ricky the Dragon Steamboat." Sorry, WWE Hall of Famer Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. Bullet Club Gold, Juice Robinson, and the Guns with the Guns, which is Austin and Colton Gunn versus Darius Martin, El Helio del Vikingo. 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 Sorry, I keep getting this guy's name and I butcher it. Colton and Darius locked up Colton backing Darius in the corner. Darius fired back with a high cross body. Action, Darius hit Guns with a double drop kick. Vikingo. Oh, yeah, yeah. Nailed Colton with a double stop. He tagged Action, who connected with a double back elbow onto the Guns. Andrade and Martin launched El Helio del Vikingo over the ring post out onto the members of the Bullet Club Gold outside the ring. The Bang Bang. Wait a second. The Bang Bang Gang got banged, said Nigel. I gotta be very careful the way I read these things. Colt smashed Andrade with a forearm to the back of the head. The Guns rocked Martin with a 310 to Yuma and pinned him. I am so glad for the Guns have finally, like, legitimately got out of the shadow of their father, and they're doing it great. Kira Hogan versus Mercedes Martinez. Martinez rocked Hogan with a big boot and stomped her in the corner. Kira rallied back with a dropkick. Martinez planted Hogan face first. Martinez spiked Hogan with a brainbuster for a near fall. Martinez hit Hogan with a neck breaker off the top turnbuckle. Hogan regained control of the bout because Martinez didn't put Hogan away when she had the opportunity. Hogan scored a thrust kick. Martin suplexed Hogan, driving the shoulders down through the mat. Martinez clocked Hogan with a bayonet. Martinez locked in the Brass City Sleeper and forced Hogan to tap out. TBS champion Chris Statlander ran down to the ring to break up the hold. As Statlander was checking on Hogan, Martinez picked up Statlander's title and smashed Chris in the head with it. Willow Nightingale sprinted to the ring and forced Martinez to retreat. For what we've been waiting for, we have the main event, the AEW World Tag Team Championship match. FTR, Dax Hardwood and Cash Wheeler versus AEW World Champion MJF and Adam Cole. So at the very beginning, we started out with dueling chants of double clothesline and FTR. The fucking fans were like sitting there like the world has stopped. This was the only thing that was important. So we started with Dax took down Cole with a headlock, takeover. Every time I hear takeover, and especially following up with Dax and Cole, I get a little sense of a little bit of I miss NXT takeovers. Dax chopped at Cole. Cash tagged in and slingshot over the ropes with a shoulder tackle to Cole. Adam Cole rattled Cash Wheeler with a kick to the head. MJF tagged in and called for the double clothesline. Dax grabbed Cash before MJF and Cole could connect with a double clothesline. MJF tagged in and called out Dax. Hardwood scoop slammed MJF. Dax whipped MJF into the ropes, and MJF jumped over him with a leapfrog. When MJF landed, he immediately clutched his ankle, but it was MJF playing possum. MJF and Dax hit each other with open palm strikes. Wheeler tagged in, and FTR isolated MJF from the corner, preventing him from tagging Adam Cole in. MJF rocked FTR with a double DDT. Cole tagged in and cleaned house on FTR. Adam Cole is fresh, said Nigel. Cole connected with the last shot on Cash for a near fall. Cole hit a lung blower on Cash. Hardwood made a tag and used an Okada roll on Cole for a near fall. Cole fired back with a super kick for a 2 count on Dax. That was close. Oh my gosh, said Nigel. MJF tagged in and Cash did too. Cash held MJF for a pile driver, but Cole's super kick Cash disallowed MJF to cradle Cash for a near fall. MJF spiked Cash with another pile driver for a near fall. That may have been the closest 2.999 we've ever seen here on Collision, said Ian. MJF and Cole called for a double clothesline. Hardwood broke up the double clothesline attempt by pulling MJ out of the ring. Cole tried to kick Hardwood, but Hardwood ducked, and then Cash rolled up Cole for a near fall. That was a brilliant tag team wrestling, said Nigel. Wheeler rammed Cole into the turnbuckle. FTR attempted a double suplex, but Cole fought his way back out of the corner. Dax suplexed Cole, and then Cash crashed down onto Cole with a splash from the top. Cole kicked out at 2. The fans chanted, "This is awesome, this is awesome." Hardwood allowed Cole to tag out to MJF. They traded forearms and chops. MJF poked Dax in the eye. Hardwood hit a slingshot powerbomb for a near fall. The fans chanted, "Fight forever, fight forever." Nice plug for the video game, you know? Hardwood was looking for a Panama Sunrise himself, but Cole knocked him off his perch. When the referee wasn't looking, as the ref was admonishing Cole, MJF kicked the turnbuckle between Dax's legs. MJF covered Dax for the pin, but Cash pulled MJF off of him. Adam Cole was looking to lower the boom, but Cash dazed him with a European uppercut. FTR was looking for a shatter machine on Cole, but MJF shoved Cole out of the harm's way. MJF attempted to hit the heat seeker on Cash, but Dax rolled up MJF for behind with an O'Connor roll and scored the victory. MJF is one of the most selfless acts he has ever done. He had saved Adam Cole from a shatter machine. FTR shook hands with Cole after the match. MJF sat in the corner and said, "I blew it." Adam Cole handed the AEW World Championship to MJF and said, "Max, you have nothing to be ashamed of. I love you." Adam Cole turned his back. MJF held the championship, about to strike Cole with it. Adam Cole sensed what was about to happen and said, "I knew it. Do what you gotta do." MJF threw the title down, fighting back tears, and said, "I can't do it." Adam Cole turned around in shock and said, "You didn't do it?" Adam Cole and MJF hugged one another in the middle of the ring. Cole said, "I am so proud of you." MJF climbed to the top turnbuckle and held the championship over his head. These two fucking remind me of Triple H and Shawn Michaels, and nobody's going to tell me otherwise. I'm going to be fucking losing my mind. Whoever turns on who, I'm going to be disappointed. We're going to go into Dynamite. Dynamite was the episode 200. It was an action-packed show last night. I actually enjoyed it. It was really good. It was a lot of surprises, a lot of starting to build for All In, and thankfully, praise Jesus, it's at noon in the afternoon. So I'm happy. I'm a happy fucking camper. I'm just hoping that I don't have to go see my son. In fact, let me just triple check. It's a Sunday. Yay! I could watch it without having any fucking problems, but I gotta get up early on Sunday to watch it. So we are coming from the Yuling Center in Tampa, Florida. We started off with Chris Jericho and Konosuke Takeshita versus Daniel Garcia and Sammy Guevara. So we started off with Jericho hit a shoulder block on Sammy, and Sammy sprung back to his feet. They traded chops, and Sammy connected with a corkscrew dropkick, and Jericho got right up to his feet. Garcia tagged in and wrenched at Jericho's arm, yanking down to the mat. Garcia taunted Jericho by dancing in front of him. Takesha grabbed a tag and took down Garcia with a Takesha line. Jericho nailed Garcia with a vertical suplex and blew a kiss to the viewers at home. Callis grabbed Garcia's boot as Garcia was hitting the ropes. The distraction allowed Jericho to continue his onslaught on Garcia. Jericho attempted the lionsault, but Garcia raised his knees to counter. Sammy and Takesha both tagged in, and Sammy unleashed a flurry of offense on Jericho and Takesha, including an elbow suicida and a tornillo. Sammy got a near fall on Takesha after a frog splash. Jericho broke up the pin attempt, and Sammy pushed Jericho. The Ocho pushed back until Garcia took the exception, jumped in, and ground and pounded Jericho. Sammy's attention was diverted watching Garcia pummel Jericho. Takesha took advantage of this and planted Sammy with a blue thunder bomb. Takesha locked Sammy in the walls of Takesha. Sammy escaped, but Jericho tagged in. Sammy rocked Jericho with a Spanish fly. Jericho and Sammy both had the same idea, trying for clotheslines, and they collided, knocking one another down. Garcia tagged in, but was intercepted by Jericho and a co-breaker for a near fall. Don Callis looks concerned, as he should be, said Taz. Sammy nailed Takesha with a thrust kick. Sammy followed up with a shooting star press to Takesha on the arena floor. Garcia charged at Jericho in the ring, but Jericho raised a boot. Garcia blocked the Judas effect and rolled up Jericho for a near fall. Garcia applied the Dragon Tamer while the ref was distracted by Takesha and Sammy brawling outside the ring. Callis grabbed Jericho's bat and cracked Garcia in the head. Jericho saw him do it, said Excalibur. The referee didn't, but Jericho did, replied Taz. Oh boy, Chris has got a big decision here. Does he? Added Shivani. Jericho turned to look at Callis and said, "What the fuck?" But Jericho covered Garcia to score the pinfall. Not only Chris Jericho chose to win the way he did, but the Don Callis family over the Jericho Appreciation Society, said Excalibur. I understand what you're saying, but Chris looked perplexed, like he didn't want to do it, but he had to do it, added Taz. Chris Jericho making his choice here on AEW 200, said Excalibur. I just want to check to see. Just want to make sure that I thought that was a family text. AEW CEO, President, and General Matt. Oh my God. I love to see the fucking plaque outside his office. Tony Khan was backstage. Tony Khan, we are celebrating 200 episodes of AEW Dynamite tonight, and we're also celebrating the important milestone on our way to the biggest professional wrestling show of all time. AEW All In, August 27th at the Wembley Stadium in London. Thank you to all our fans around the world who made it possible, and thank you to the wrestlers and staff. A highlight package aired and of the memorable moments from the past 200 episodes, which include Cody Rhodes, Brady Rhodes, the memorial to Jay Briscoe and Brody Lee, and henceforth. Come back from a commercial break. Renee Paquette was backstage trying to get a word with Chris Jericho. Before Jericho could respond, Renee, Matt Menard interrupted. Matt Menard, hey, I don't know what the hell is going on around here. Next week, Jericho Appreciation Society mandatory meeting. You're not gonna be there. Got it. Jericho walked off without saying a word to Renee. Tony Schiavone was in the ring to introduce the FTW champion Jack Perry. Jack Perry yanked the microphone out of Schiavone's hand. Perry, Jerry, I gave you a week to get ready for this, so get out here and take your ass kicking like a man. Jerry Lynn walked onto the ramp with a microphone. Lynn, first of all, Jungle, you don't run the show around here. As much as I like to come to the ring and make an example out of you, I won't, because that would be nothing more than child's abuse. And second of all, I don't run the show around here, and with all the plates and screws in my neck, there is not a doctor alive that would clear me to return to the ring. But it just so happens I call a good friend of mine. Just so happens to wrestle in ECW. Just so happens he still wrestles today. So what do you say, Jungle? Rob Van Dam walked back. WWE Hall of Famer Rob Van Dam walked onto the ramp and gave Jerry Lynn a high five. RVD walked into the ring and stared at Jack Perry dead in the eyes. Jack Perry rolled out of the ring, wanting no part of RVD. As Jerry Lynn and RVD were talking in the ring, Jack Perry jumped back in the ring with a steel chair. He swung it at RVD, but RVD dodged it. RVD went spinning roundhouse kick, but Jack Perry ducked and retreated into the crowd. Anything goes match. Triple threat. Jon Moxley, Penta El Zero Miedo, and Trent Beretta. The action spilled outside before the match began, with all three men brawling. Moxley chomped on Trent's forehead. Penta cracked Mox and Trent in the head with a trash can. I'm sorry, I'm going to stop here for a second. Moxley has got to start fucking wrestling a little bit more safer. And a little bit more a little bit tamer. I mean, Jesus Christ, do everything with Jon Moxley has to be a fucking brutal fucking match? Can it be just a regular wrestling match? I mean, is this guy really fucking, like, replacing alcohol with like, deathmatch tendencies from the alcohol he used to drink? I mean, he's got an obsession with it. He's got an addiction, and it's not a healthy one at that either. I mean, it's like, for Christ's sakes, it's like he gets off on it. It's like he's got to fucking bleed to fucking have a load, you know? It's disgusting, you know? Now I'm glad he's not in WWE, because he would be so fucking goddamn, like, his anxiety would be through the roof, because he needs to blade or he needs to cut himself to feel blood. That's really sick. That's twisted. Something's wrong with him. He needs mental help. And don't give me the fact, oh, it's a wrestling, blah, blah. You know what? Fucking go to WWE. They don't need to be doing that, because there's more to than just fucking cutting yourself open. One thing to do it by accident. Two, to do it on purpose is a completely different other ball game. That's just sick. Moxley surprised Penta El Zero Miedo with a cutter out of the corner. Moxley grabbed a barbed wire wrapped 2x4 beneath the ring. Mox used a weapon on Trent, raking Trent's face with it. Moxley spiked Trent with a pile driver on barbed wire 2x4. Trent fired back with a suplex to Moxley on a barbed wire 2x4. Alex Abrahantes helped Penta set up two tables outside the ring. Penta climbed to the top turnbuckle, but Moxley ambushed Penta. Trent jumped onto the apron, climbed up to meet Moxley, and then suplexed Moxley through the tables on the arena floor. Trent and Penta teamed up to nail Moxley with thrust kicks. Penta crushed Trent with a avalanche destroyer through the table. Moxley rammed into Penta with a shoulder tackle, sending Penta through the table. Moxley spilled a bag of thumbtacks on the mat. He's beating off. I swear to Jesus. It's disgusting. Moxley planted Penta with a gotch-style pile driver onto the tacks for a near fall. Moxley crushed Trent with a cutter onto the thumbtacks. Fans chanted, "Fight forever, fight forever." Another shameless plug. All three men traded forearms and chops in the center of the ring. Moxley connected with a King Kong lariat on Trent. Moxley clobbered Penta with a paradigm shift. Trent charged at Moxley with a knee strike and then pinned Penta. Trent picked up the scraps left behind by Mox, said Taz. After the match, Moxley locked in Trent in a sleeper hold. Sleeper chokehold. Claudio Castagnoli and Wheeler Yuta began to make their way to the ring like a couple of sharks, but they were intercepted by Chuck Taylor and Orange Cassidy. They jumped off the top rope and wiped out the BCC. Inside the ring, Chuck Taylor fastballed a steel chair onto Claudio. Orange Cassidy decked Moxley with an orange punch. Chuck Taylor, it looks like this didn't accomplish a thing. So how about Friday night on Rampage? We go back to Daly's place in Jacksonville. Meet us in the parking lot. So we're gonna have a parking lot brawl. I don't know if it's probably being taped tonight possibly, or it's going to be live. I don't know. Renee Paquette was backstage with WWE Hall of Famer Rob Van Dam. I added that, okay? She didn't say that, no nothing. RVD, Renee, I've heard Jack running his mouth. I mean, does he know people are listening? Dude, guess what? Next week, I want to challenge you for the FTW Championship. And after I beat him, I'm going to become the new FTW champion. Here's what I'm thinking. I've done this with so many championships in the past. I inflate the value and then I just retire it. But it depends on how much fun I have next week wrestling Jungle Jerk. All I have to do is worry about Jack is next week one-on-one. It's you and this guy, Rob Van Dam. Remember, Hall of Famer. AEW World Champion MJF comes to the ring and he's getting chanted his name. MJF, MJF, MJF. MJF, sounds like we've got a couple of devil worshippers in the house tonight. I'm a little emotional, so if you guys don't mind, I just want to have a real heart-to-heart conversation with everyone here tonight and everyone at home. And I gotta blow my nose. This never ends, I swear. At some point, you may recall I have an attention deficit disorder, ADD. With that disorder comes litany of other disorders linked to it, and one that I have struggled is called rejection sensitive disorder. Essentially, my brain is structured not to regulate rejection based emotions or behaviors, making sometimes life really difficult for me. To be honest, life would have been pretty difficult for me without RSD. There's a lot in my past, you guys don't know. I've been bullied, cheated on, lied to, I've been battered, I've been beaten up, and frankly, a lot of it I blacked out. But there's one thing that I still remember to this day, that is those kids walked up to me with their hand filled with quarters and threw them at me and said, "Pick it up, Jew boy." Now, I've actually not experienced it, but I've witnessed that. That's not fun. And if you know my last name, which is Klein, I'm not Jewish. I'm far from being Jewish. I am a Roman Catholic. I don't practice it, but I do practice it in my own way. That is hideous. That is horrible. You don't do that to people. Oh my God. And it just gets worse as each year goes by. To this day, I can hear the laughter, and I can remember saying to myself that I had to stab everyone in the back before they had the opportunity to stab me. But I'm beginning to realize that that's no way to live. Because Tampo, while I'm protecting myself, I end up becoming one of them. I end up becoming the scumbag myself. It's true. And to be honest, being a scumbag is easy. Making you people hate me is easy. I'm Long Island born and bred. He's Long Island born and bred. All right? I have a special place for MJF. All right? I mean, for Christ's sakes, I gotta find out how old this guy is. How old is MJF?
Maxwell Jacob Friedman is 20.
He's 27 years old. All right, barely he could be my son. That would hurt me as a mom. It does hurt me because my son is severely autistic. So if anybody bullies my son, you got to deal with the lion. Yes. I'm the motherfucking lioness, and I will tear your eyes out, all right? What's hard being vulnerable and being open, and open, that's hard. And I knew with my disorder that if I opened myself up and if I was Max and you people booed me, it would kill me. But you know what? I'm not scared anymore. I'm not scared anymore. And that is because each and every single one of you, it's because of each and every single one of you. You people taught me you do care about Max. You people taught me, by God, you got sympathy for the devil. I'm not going to change overnight. I'm still going to be a scumbag. Don't get me wrong. I'm ready to be your scumbag. I haven't heard scumbag in fucking years. Oh my God, this is crazy. But there's one person, a particular, who taught me to think like this. A person who taught me that I could trust. A person who taught me that I could be vulnerable. And yes, even MJF, the devil deserves a friend. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to give you a warm round of applause for someone I believe is one of the best wrestlers in the world. One of the best humans in the world. My best friend, Adam Cole, Bay Bay. Adam comes out. Adam walked to the ring. The fans chanted his name. Adam Cole, Max, can you continue to impress me every day? But seriously, it's not just because you're at such a young age, one of the best professional wrestlers in the world, but because of a man you're becoming. Because I do appreciate you coming out here and sharing your story, but I want you to know you're not alone. For years, I was a jerk. I thought that's what I had to do to succeed. And I was scared. Max, you're becoming a man you are meant to be. These people love you, and I adore you. They know deep down in your heart there is a good guy in there. So, Max, I want you to make sure, and you know this. Not only am I incredibly proud of you, but we are incredibly proud of you. MJF made you a compromise promise that after our match with FTR, I give you a world title shot at the Triple B and the AEW World Championship. And I got to tell you, I've been thinking long and hard. I've come to the conclusion you don't deserve any match. That is, you don't deserve just any match. You deserve the match in front of the most historic crowd in the history of our sport, on the most historic night in our sport. In the main event, MJF and Adam Cole, Wembley all in. There is no one I would rather make history with more than you, so please sign the contract. Adam signed the contract. Max, I love you, man. I love you too, dude. Cole and MJF hugged it out. The main event is official in All In London, Sunday, August 27th. The AEW World Championship on the line. MJF versus Adam Cole one-on-one at Excalibur. Backstage, Roderick Strong was shown destroying monitors, angered by what he had seen. Matt Tavern and Mike Bennett approached Strong. Tavern said, "That's Cole, always forgetting about his real friends." Now, we all know that Adam Cole is fucking awesome. This is the match to shove it in fucking Vince McMahon's face, because I know, and you know, we know that Adam Cole is a WWE WrestleMania main eventer for years to come. He got robbed of that because of Vince McMahon. So now Tony Khan is going to gift him a WrestleMania level main event to fill that void. I don't know if he's ever going to go back to WWE. That would be his decision. But that was his goal when he was a child. So now Tony Khan has given it to him. Let's see how he does. Let's see if he can prove Vince McMahon wrong. Let's see if he can prove him wrong. Because Triple H knows that he can do it. Shawn Michaels knows that he could do it. The half of WWE locker room knows that he can do it. I know he can do it. Do you have faith that he can do it? Because I do. They're gonna tear. They're gonna tear what's left of that roof down in Wembley. Main event. I think this is main event. I think this is a main event. No, it isn't. Okay, whatever. Trios match: The Elite, Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks, Nick and Matt Jackson versus Jay Lethal, Jeff Jarrett, and Sanamon Singh. There would be no AEW without the Elite, said Excalibur. Jarrett grabbed a headlock on Omega. Double J body slammed Kenny Omega, and they did a Fargo strut. Jay Lethal tagged in Omega, but was ready for him with an arm drag. Matt Jackson had tagged in, and he and Nick hit tandem offense on Lethal. Sanamon Singh tagged in, and the Young Bucks drop kicked him. Sanamon connected with a crossbody on both Bucks. Nick Jackson nailed Jeff with a super kick. Omega tagged in and cleared house on Lethal and Jarrett with a Polish hammers. Omega went for a moonsault, but Lethal countered by raising his knees. The Bucks invited Lethal and Jarrett to a super kick party. They brought Sanamon down with two sides with super kicks. Kenny followed up with a V trigger to Sanamon. Karen Jarrett jumped on the apron and distracted the referee. Omega hoisted up Sanamon for a one-wing angel. Sonya Dutt ran into the ring and blindsided Omega. Lethal planted Omega with a lethal combination. Brandon Cutler hopped on the apron and sprayed Karen with cold spray. Sonya Dutt rocked Brandon with a haymaker. I would love to get rid of fucking Karen Jarrett. There's no reason in 2023 we need to be seeing that bitch. And I call her a bitch because she's the one that fucking turned two fucking goddamn men into fucking addicts. And don't at me. I know. I know more you think you know. Sanjay rocked Brandon with a haymaker. Matt and Jeff Hardy ran to the ring and neutralized Sonya Dutt. As the ref was distracted by the Hardys and Dutt, Jarrett grabbed a guitar. He swung in at Omega, but Omega ducked. Hangman Adam Page appeared out of nowhere and derailed Jarrett with a buckshot lariat. Lethal grabbed the guitar, but before he could use it, Omega clocked him with a V trigger. Omega finished off Lethal with a one-wing angel and pinned him. After the match, Kenny Omega, we've got some important news. In case you guys don't have the internet, what's on your mind? Hangman, tell him. Hangman Adam Page, I don't know if you've seen, but it's a big announcement today that the Elite re-signed with AEW. So tonight at Dynamite 200, we are so happy to be here to the next 200. Omega. And whether it to be Dynamite, Ring of Honor, Rampage, heck, even Collision, you're going to be seeing more of us. But until then, I bid you adieu, goodbye, and good night. Bang. For those four men, put the Elite in All Elite, and they'll be around for years to come, said Excalibur. I would have liked them to also mention, on top of those four men, we also want to say thank you to the other founding father, which is Cody Rhodes and his wife, Brandy Rhodes. Without them, this also wouldn't be a possibility. Because really, truthfully, if it wasn't for them getting the ball started, they wouldn't be where they are. I mean, to be quite honest, I think Tony Khan just used him for his name, because I don't think if Cody Rhodes wasn't involved in this whole situation, they would have never got the television deal. They would have been just a traveling show, and I think it's kind of funny that nobody has stake in the company. And I was right from the get-go. I was right from the fucking get-go because I said if they would have put their own money to make this company, they would have had more of a foothold. Now they don't. They're just employees. And I think that's a little shady and a little like now Tony Khan owns everything. So if the elite wants to leave, they have nothing. They have nothing. They can't even take any portion of the company with them. You know that is something I don't like. The mogul embassy played footage of them invading Buddy Wayne's wrestling academy. Nick Wayne and was training in the ring when Swerve opened the door. AR Fox and Swerve Strickland swarmed Nick Wayne. They forced a bloody Nick Wayne to call Darby Allin. Darby picked up and Swerve grabbed the phone and abolished Darby for not calling AR Fox years ago. Swerve, we're the ghosts of your past and we're here to haunt you. So this is just the beginning. Darby, mogul embassy forever. ROH World Tag Team Championship match. Aussie Open, Kyle Fletcher and Mark Davis versus the AAA Mega Champion El Helio del Vikingo and Commander. I hate this guy's last name. Vikingo took down Fletcher with a tornillo. Davis tagged in Commander, walked off the shoulders of Vikingo and came down with a Hurricane Rana on Davis. Davis booted Commander in the head. Aussie Open double-teamed Commander with their tandem offense. They're just running through Commander right now, said Shivani. Vikingo tagged in and sent Davis to the floor with a drop kick. Vikingo nailed Fletcher with a diving leg drop. Vikingo and Commando attempted a stereotope suicida, but Aussie Open caught them and rammed them against one another spine first. Commando and Helio Vikingo walked the ropes with and hit a double moonsault to the arena floor on Aussie Open. They followed up with a 450 splash on Davis, but Fletcher broke up the pin attempt. Aussie Open rallied back, squashed Commander and clotheslines, and then finished him off with a Corollas for a victory. Who cares? Main event time, AEW Women's World Championship match. Toni Storm versus Hikaru Shida. Storm and Shida traded forearms in the center of the ring. Storm rolled outside to collect herself. Shida ground and pound on Toni Storm. Shida battered Storm until Storm grabbed the ropes. Shida nailed Storm with a running knee. Shida whipped Storm into the barricade. Hikaru Shida suplexed Storm into the turnbuckle. Storm gouged the eyes of Shida. Storm crashed onto Shida with a hip attack. The Outcasts double-teamed Shida outside the ring. Shida intercepted the hip attack and then German suplexed Toni Storm. Shida dazed Storm with 2 running knee strikes. Shida followed up with a missile dropkick for a near fall on Storm. Shida walloped Storm with a meteor for a 2 count. Shida hoisted up Storm onto the top turnbuckle. Ruby Soho yanked Shida down. Toni Storm DDT Shida. Storm crushed Shida in the corner with a hip attack. Storm followed up with a DDT, but Shida kicked out at 2. Excalibur had breaking news and announced that next week Dynamite it'll be Jack Perry against RVD and FTW rules. Why did they make this announcement in the middle of a fucking match? Was my fucking mind blowing. So you can already tell. I quickly touched on the women's divisions in both. On my spaces yesterday, I think it was yesterday. Yeah, it was my spaces yesterday. Telling you, this is ridiculous. Women's wrestling's not a draw. I do not pay to watch women's wrestling. It's a fucking goddamn side order or it's a fucking bonus to my meal. That's it. And I'm going to touch on all the women thing on my preview and predictions, so look out for that. Sheeta connected with a knee strike. Sheeta planted Storm with a falcon arrow for a near fall. Saraya slipped a kendo stick into the ring. Sheeta and Storm fought for the kendo stick. Storm dropped to her knees and urged Sheeta to use it, knowing that Sheeta would get disqualified if she did. Instead, Sheeta turned around and hit Ruby Soho in the head with it. Sheeta hit Saraya with it next. Sheeta threw a kendo stick down as Paul Turner grabbed the kendo stick and turned around to remove it from the ring. Tony Storm sprayed Sheeta in the eyes with the spray paint, but Storm spiked Sheeta with the Storm Zero, but Sheeta kicked out at 2. Sheeta cradled Storm and pinned. And we have a new AEW Women's World Champion, Hikaru Shida. Please, for the love of God, do not take the title off fucking goddamn Asuka. If they do, please have a fucking cash in. Please. Perfect ending to that. So next week we're gonna they're gonna be at the Nationwide Arena in Columbus, Ohio. And Collision will be live this week at the Bonsource Wellness Arena in Greenville, South Carolina. And that is that. Hey, do me a favor, please. I am not going to be doing Snapchat anymore. I'm not. That's going to be something private for me. I'm trying to fix everything up. But I'm on TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, Threads, and Facebook. So go check me out there. All Mel's Mat Chat. You don't have to worry about it. So go check that out. Last week on SmackDown, I'm gonna give you last week's results, and then I'm done. I'm done, and you'll see this, and I'll be retweeting it with the preview and predictions and everything like that. So we're building more to SummerSlam, and what will be going. My nose is so stuffy lately. So last week's SmackDown featured a final match in the United States Championship Invitational as Rey Mysterio takes on Santos Escobar for the right to challenge Austin Theory for the United States Championship. WWE also promoted Roman Reigns and Jey Uso appearing for tonight's SmackDown, but also scheduled for tonight will be one-on-one match between Karrion Kross and Carl Anderson from the OC. SmackDown kicked off with Jey Uso already in the ring. Immediately after Jey informs the crowd he is in fact in their city. See, they're giving back. Instead of saying, acknowledge me, I'm in your city. Giving it back to the fans. Without hesitation, Roman Reigns comes out and he makes his way to the ring with Heyman and Sequoia. Reigns tells the crowd that he's the reason they like the Usos. Are you fucking kidding me? The Usos were before Roman Reigns. So please, Mr. Reigns, stop being so fucking narcissistic, okay? Reigns tells Jey if the tribal chief is scheduled for the show, he's starting things off. Reigns tells Jey he made him the right hand man. He made him the main event. Jey Uso, but now he has none of that. He is trying to be the tribal chief and the face of the company. Jey tells Reigns he never wanted any of that. All he did for Reigns was support him like family does. Jay says he believes in Reigns, that he can lead this company and his family, but he broke the family. Jay tells Reigns he broke the bloodline and he broke Jimmy. Reigns says he won't take the blame for Jimmy. It was Jay's jealousy that brought that on. Reigns tells Jay the first thing he did was ask for a championship match. Reigns says the only reason Jay became the right hand man because Jimmy was hurt, and that if he wasn't, Jay would have never had a chance. Jay says that when he beats Jay, he won't be part of history. He will be forgotten about it. Reigns says hypothetically, if Jay were to beat him, he would take everything from Reigns. But at the end of the day, he will always be Roman Reigns, and will always be able to do whatever he wants to do. Reigns says he doesn't understand what is running through Jay's mind to make him think that he can be beat. Jay laughs. He said because he has already beaten Reigns. He's already pinned him. And at SummerSlam, he could beat him again. Jay drops the mic. He leaves the ring. There is visible frustration and fear on Reigns. Come back from commercial break. SmackDown returns with Jey Uso walking backstage. Grayson Waller approaches. Jay says after SummerSlam he could join him on the Grayson Waller effect as Little Jay. Jay initially laughs with Waller shoving him back a good 5 feet and walking off. Rey Mysterio versus Santos Escobar. Our opening match begins with the two LWO members shaking hands in the middle of the ring. The two lock up. Escobar gets a quick roll up for a 2. Escobar hits a single leg takedown. Mysterio slaps Escobar across the face, and Escobar responds with a slap of his own. Mysterio sends Escobar to the ropes and goes for a 619, but Escobar rolls out of the ring. Mysterio responds by hitting a dive over the top rope to Escobar. We come back from commercial break. The match continues with Mysterio planting Escobar with a hip toss. Mysterio goes to the top rope and hits a senton, followed up by a springboard crossbody off the middle rope. Escobar hits a shoulder tackle and goes up top, hit a flying crossbody into a cover for a 2. Mysterio springs off the ropes, but Escobar catches the counter with a backbreaker. Escobar tries to slingshot Mysterio into the corner, but Mysterio leaps to the middle rope. Escobar tries to slingshot Mysterio into the corner, but Mysterio leaps to the middle rope. Escobar grabs Mysterio on his shoulders and two tumble to the outside. Escobar maintains his grip, but Mysterio hits a hurricanrana to send Escobar to the side of the ring. Mysterio gets back into the ring and goes for a baseball slide, but Escobar dodges it. Escobar runs back into the ring and hits a tope suicida to Mysterio. We come back from commercial break. The referee and trainer is checking on Mysterio, who suffered an apparent injury from the tope suicida before the bell. The referee talks to the ring announcer and announces that Mysterio can no longer compete and that Escobar is the winner of the match. Escobar has his hand raised in victory as Escobar has look of concern on the face. After the bell, Escobar goes to hug Mysterio in the corner, but he just popped up afterwards. So what they should have done is had Escobar help him out and help him in the back, and then embrace at near the entrance to the ring. We go backstage with Kayla Braxton interviewing Bianca Belair. Belair says that the numbers don't favor anyone in a triple threat match. Belair is interrupted by Chelsea Green and Sonya Deville. Green says they have 11 days as championship without getting a proper celebration. Yes, we should have a proper celebration. Because they're first-time champions, for the love of God. DeVille says that Belair is no longer champion, yet she gets all the attention. Little truth there. Belair says if they want, they could have their own triple threat tonight. Charlotte Flair approaches and offers to be Belair's partner tonight. Belair's tag team partner in a match tonight. Belair declines, but Charlotte says she's going to talk to Adam Pearce to make it official. So for saying that she doesn't know or don't even have any say backstage, she's going to Adam Pearce to make a match. Who has that power? I mean, come on now. We come back from commercial break. SmackDown returns with Hit Row in the ring. Top Dollar says Roll Tide to great heat from New Orleans crowd. Hit Row is interrupted by L.A. Knight, who comes out to the ring. L.A. Knight calls Top Dollar Uncle Phil and says that Ashanti will be the next person to be dropped on his head by the megastar. So we have a match. Very quick. The match begins, and it was against Ashanti Adonis. The match begins with Ashanti taking cheap shots at L.A. Knight. B-Fab distracts the ref, and Top Dollar throws punches with the ref distracted. L.A. Knight plants Ashanti with a power slam and hits an elbow drop to the crowd screams his name, and then L.A. Knight hits a BFT and covers for 3. Winner, L.A. Knight. We cut to backstage where Adam Pearce meets up with Jey Uso. Pearce tells Jey that Grayson Waller has been demanding a match against Jey tonight, and that he has made it official. Charlotte Flair makes her way out to the ring as the tag team match has been made official. Wow! You know what, Charlotte, I really thought Charlotte didn't have power. I didn't think she doesn't politic. She doesn't do that. She just gets her opportunities. She earns them. She goes and asks for a fucking match. Meanwhile, we didn't need to see this. We didn't need to see this at all. They just buried the new tag team champions. For the love of God, make it make sense. This is why the women's division is the way it is. So we come back from our commercial breaks. SmackDown returns with Bobby Lashley meeting the Street Profits backstage. Lashley tells them they should dress like champions, and Lashley has one wheel a rack of suits, and Lashley tells Ford and Dawkins to choose whatever they want. It's on him. So we go back out to the ring, and then the match begins with Belair and Green in the ring. The two lock up, and Belair hits a big shoulder tackle. Charlotte makes the blind tag, and Belair springs off the ropes. Charlotte slams Green in the face to the mat. Charlotte drags Green to the corner, and Belair tags herself in. Belair hits a power slam, and Green crawls to the corner to tag DeVille in. Belair hits a moonsault. She does it properly. Charlotte, take a fucking clue. Belair hits a dropkick, and Belair rains down punches to DeVille in the corner. Green runs in the ring, and Belair backflips over Green off the distraction. Belair hits a boot to Belair and covers for a 2 count. We go to commercial break. The match continues live with DeVille having Belair in a side headlock on the mat. DeVille tags Green in, and Belair hits Green and DeVille with a double suplex. Belair reaches the corner and tags Charlotte, who hits DeVille and Green with a double crossbody as the ref is doing a horrible job. Charlotte hits a Green with a fallaway slam and then hits a lariat, covers for a 2 count. Green hits a back elbow and tags DeVille in. Charlotte dodges a running knee and hits DeVille with a fallaway slam. Charlotte goes for a figure 8, but DeVille kicks Charlotte in the corner, where Belair tags herself in. Belair hits a vertical suplex and hits punches in the corner. DeVille escapes by grabbing Belair's hair, and Green makes the blind tag. Belair goes for a KOD, but Charlotte tags herself in and hits Green with a big boot. Charlotte and Belair argue before Charlotte covers Green for the win. Charlotte Flair and Bianca Belair pick up the win. We cut backstage where Io Sky confronts Bailey. Sky asks Bailey why she left last week. Belair says she left to get the keys so they can get out of there soon. Bailey opens her bag where she finds a note from Shotzi saying that she will see her soon. Asuka approaches the two backstage. Asuka tells Sky she would be making a big mistake if she cashing in the Money in the Bank at SummerSlam. Sounds to me Sky's going to be the first one to not successfully cash in. Commercial break. Back live. Adam Pearce is being approached by LA Knight backstage. LA Knight says that he should be the newly announced SummerSlam Battle Royals. Sheamus approaches and says he also needs to be in the match. Adam Pearce says they are both in the Battle Royal and they two will go one-on-one next week. Grayson Waller is interviewed backstage. Waller says that tonight he makes Jay pay, so he focused on SummerSlam and he's not ready for Grayson Waller effect. So we have this fucking tag team match which was not needed, and they cut more into this match where I wanted to see it, and I would not be surprised Cross will be done by the end of their contract. This guy, you have fucking money in, and you're not using him. What happened to the fucking feud with Roman Reigns? I would actually like to see at the end of this fucking match, have fucking Karrion Kross go out to the fucking ring at the end of SummerSlam and fucking kick his ass in. He subdues fucking Solo Sikoa, and then he goes after fucking Roman Reigns. Karrion Kross versus Carl Anderson. The match begins with Anderson rushing to Kross in the corner with series of strikes. Anderson hits a big chop in the corner. Anderson goes off the top and hits a neck breaker. Scarlett grabs Anderson's leg off the distraction. Kross takes out Anderson's leg with a low lock. Kross hits a cross hammer and follows it with a final prayer. Kross covers for a 3. Winner, Karrion Kross. After the bell, Kross locks in the cross jacket, which causes AJ Styles and Miriam to run out to the ring to make the save, as well as Carl Anderson. Come back from commercial break. Jey Uso versus Grayson Waller. Our main event begins with the lockup. Jey backs Waller into the corner. Jey hits a power slam and a stomp to the face. Waller gets knocked into the corner, and Jey looks like he's about to go for a corner splash, but Roman's music hits and Reigns, Sikoa, and Heyman make their way out to the ring. Off the distraction, Waller blindsides Jey with a forearm strike. We have a commercial break. SmackDown returns with Waller having Jey in a side headlock on the mat. Jey breaks free with an uppercut, and Jey places Waller on the top rope. Waller knocks Jey down to the mat. Waller hits an elbow drop from the top rope. Jey ducks up under a super kick, and Jey hits a super kick of his own. Waller plants Jey with a spine buster and then sets up for a people's elbow. Jey rolls out of the way as Waller crashes to the mat. Jey goes for a running splash in the corner, but Waller rolls out of the way. Waller goes for a rolling stunner, but rolls right into a super kick from Jey. Jey hits Waller with a spear and stares down Reigns at the ringside. Jey goes to the top rope and hits a Uso splash. Jey covers for a 3. Winner, Jey Uso. After the bell, Sikoa sneaks into the ring and attacks Jey from behind. As Reigns looks on, Jey avoids the Samoan spike as Jey hits a super kick. Reigns runs in the ring, and Jey hits Reigns with a spear and to a huge pop. Jey goes for the top rope, but Sikoa shoves Jey off the top to the mat. Sikoa plants Jey with an Uranagi, and then Sikoa and Reigns hits a Samoan spike and spear combo on Jey. Reigns picks up Jey and Sikoa, and Reigns hits another Samoan spike on They had a combo. SmackDown goes off the air with Reigns and Sokoya standing triumphant in the middle of the ring, and that is that. So that is that for the week. So you're going to hear more about what's going on in the women's division on both shows, mostly on WWE tomorrow for the preview and predictions. You're going to get my thoughts on how the ring card is and whatnot. But please do me a favor. Go check out Harry's.com for all your shaving and toiletry essentials. Go check out my Astro Classic for your beard essentials. Please go check out Liquid Death at liquiddeath.com. Go check out Death Wish Coffee at deathwishcoffee.com. And remember, August 18th, High Intensity 10. Hiroshi Tanahashi is taking on Matt Cardona for the HOG World Championship. And you can get everything. You can even get the Premier app. Everything will be on HOGWrestling.net's website. I will be back here tomorrow night, hopefully live, fingers crossed, connections, everything, that I could go live with my preview and predictions for SummerSlam. And then Sunday at some point, I will be going and giving you my review for SummerSlam. So until then, have a great day and have a great weekend and enjoy SummerSlam. And I will see you tomorrow for preview and predictions. Oh, and please check me out on my social media. Instagram, TikTok, Threads, Facebook, and Twitter, all Mel's Mat Chat. Go follow me there. And it's the same profile picture. So if you get one, you get it all. And remember to like, share, and subscribe to this channel. And turn on the bell for all notifications. So when I go live, if I can, or I upload a video. So have a great rest of your weekend. And I'll see you tomorrow for preview and predictions. I love you all. Love you all. Have a great evening. Bye-bye.